to see you again. Yes, it's all happening on today's Art Attack. What's happening? This is happening. There's a strange way to make your pictures weird and wonky and discover what's in the deep, dark depths of the ocean. And Ben, the Border Collie, gets busy with a big Art Attack. Have you ever noticed in your garden how sometimes the leaves on plants have little bite marks taken out of them? Well, I've got the same trouble with my notice board. And here's the culprit, a caterpillar. Albeit a very big one, and he's chomping away at my notice board. Just like little caterpillars chomp away at the leaves in the garden. Good, isn't it? A hungry caterpillar notice board. And it's easy to make in 4 parts. A 4-part attack. Start with the leaves. Take a large piece of cardboard box card and sketch out a leaf shape. Make it round at one end, tapering off to a point like this. Then on the top edge, draw little semicircular shapes to look like teeth marks. And cut the whole thing out. Then draw and cut out another 2 leaf shapes, each slightly smaller than the last. But you don't need bite marks out of these. Fan them out one on top of each other, then turn them over and stick them together using lots of tape. And when you finish taping them, they should all be firmly stuck together like this. But, and this is very important, don't put any tape on the front of your leaves because you want to leave those gaps so you can slot your bits and pieces in between. So that's the leaves that make up the notice board. Now you need to make the caterpillar. Screw up some newspaper into a ball and hold it together with some tape. And the idea is to make 8 like this to make up your caterpillar's body. Place them in a kind of arch shape to give his body some movement. And when you've got them in shape, tape them all together. And use lots of tape for this. Then add 2 small balls of newspaper to the top of the first ball to make eyes. To make his antennae, cut a couple of short lengths from drinking straws, tape little balls of newspaper to the end, and tape them on behind the eyes. Then position your caterpillar along the top edge of the leaves. And put his head near to the bite mark, and then tape him into place. So your notice board's really starting to take shape now, but I think the caterpillar could do with a bit more texture. Mix some PVA glue with a little water and paste on torn up pieces of kitchen paper all over your caterpillar. The idea is to seal over all those joins, get into all the nooks and crannies, and cover the lot. Then take some cotton wool and dip it into your glue. And add pieces to the top of each body segment, giving it a spiky texture with your fingers. Just mould it with your fingers and pull it into shape. And when you've done the whole thing and it's dry, you'll have something that looks like this. And look at that, the cotton wool has given him a very hairy look. OK, so next you need to paint it. Paint your caterpillar whatever colours you like. You could look at a picture of a real caterpillar on the internet or in books to get some inspiration, or you could just make it up and make it really cartoony. This one's yellow with orange for the darker shades. And when it's dry, you can add detail with permanent marker. Then paint the leaves a nice bright green. And you can add in other shades for texture, and even lighter bits to make the veins on the leaves just coming out from the middle. Just stripe it on like that. Then finally tie a loop of string and tape it onto the back so that you can hang your notice board up. And there he is. Hang him up like this on your wall, and he's munching away at your notice board. And then you just feed him with a lot of your tasty letters and your notes and maybe your photos and all your other little bits and pieces that go on your notice board. Try it yourself, a hungry caterpillar notice board. Let me introduce you to Ben. Ben is a border collie. He works hard for a living, sometimes over 12 hours a day. He's highly trained and committed, and he loves working with animals. Oh, and he likes to manage a team. Can you guess what his job is? Let me show you, with a big heart attack. Here's a great art attack that takes you into the deep, dark depths of the mysterious underwater city. Now, to do your underwater city, you need a dark blue wax crayon and you need to think ancient Roman ruins. Just start by drawing those tall columns you see in pictures of ancient Rome or Greece. And they usually sit on a base and have bits of the old building's roofs on the top. Maybe do another one on the other side here. Then think of other long-lost ancient ruins, like maybe a statue on a plinth. Put some other ruins in the background there. and some other bits and pieces lying round that have fallen down over the years. Yeah, that looks a pretty good ancient ruin. But this ancient ruin is underwater, so draw in a few fish. There's a shark here. And maybe a ray or two. I'm just going to put in some shoals swimming between the ruins. And don't forget, lots of seaweed and rocks. Then finally take a white wax crayon and draw some dashes and small streaks across the top of your picture. Now, I know you can't actually see what I'm drawing at the moment, but it'll all become clear in a minute. I'm just adding in some dots for bubbles. So now to turn your ancient ruins into a mysterious underwater city. Just mix some light blue watercolour and then brush it across your picture. And look at that, your streaks of white wax crayon now show through, and the rest of the wax just resists the watercolour. Then, while it's still wet, quickly take a tissue and streak in shafts of light coming from the surface of the water. And there you have your sunlight dancing through the water and rippling on the waves. And finally, just brush in some darker colour into some of those underwater shapes. You don't have to be perfect with this, because it's all quite patchy underwater, isn't it? And there's your underwater city. Try it yourself. A dark blue wax crayon, streak in some shafts of light through the wet paint and create a mysterious underwater city. Do you know what? It continues to amaze me where some of you guys get your ideas from. They're all brilliant, and they all go here in the Art Attack Gallery. Take a look at this one. Ah, yes, my old favourite, fold and cut. You get a different effect every time, and on this one, Ruby's even added some glitter for a really stunning effect. And wow, look at this! It's an optical illusion. Great effect. I like the contrast of the figures in black. It makes Elizabeth's picture even more strange. Nice one. And here's a lively chalk pastel picture from Bradley. Now, he's very cleverly turned the chalk on its side and smudged it with his finger to colour it in. Ingenious. Yeah, great picture there by Bradley. You know, chalk pastels can create fantastic effects when you smudge them with your finger. The only problem is they can be a little messy to use, and I always find that I end up with chalk pastel all over my hands, which means I smear it all over my picture. Well, there is a solution to that problem, and no, it's not an expensive piece of art equipment. It's just a rolled-up piece of paper. Just take a look at this. Take a square of paper and just roll it into a tight roll and roll it slightly across on a diagonal so that you end up with one pointy end and one slightly wider end. And then just tape it together, and the idea is to use the end of the roll to rub and blend your pastels together. Now, you use the wide end for the bigger areas, like this, and you use the pointy end to blend the detail, like that. And it works much better than your finger, because it's more precise, it's completely dry, and it's a lot less messy. Nice one. So, OK, where were we? Ah, yes. Take a look at this painting by Dominic. This is a really strong image of an old Cornish tin mine. Great art attack. Well done, Dominic. And look at this art attack. Now, I love using charcoal, and it looks like Dipendra does too. I love the subtle shading and the scratchy lines. Nice one. And here's a great idea by the class of 3D. Each section has been made individually, then put together to make one giant art attack. Nice one, guys. And look at this fab picture, drawn in wax crayon by Charlotte. Looks very strange, doesn't it? She's distorted the facial features, putting them all over the place. The result? A brilliant abstract piece. Yeah, great distorted picture from Charlotte. Really weird, wasn't it? You know, I often wonder where people get their ideas and inspiration from to do weird things. Tell you where I get mine. From spoons. Have you ever noticed when you look in a spoon, everything is weird and looks a distorted shape? Well, copy it. It makes a great picture. Just take a nice, shiny spoon, the bigger the better, and look into the back of it. And notice how all your features are distorting. Look at that. Then just hold still and draw what you see in the spoon. So, start with the shape of the face. A sort of spoony shape. All distorted and wobbly. Doesn't have to be perfect or anything. You're just using this for inspiration. Then I'm going to put my hair on top. Now that's got a funny shape. What do you mean it looks better? And how about that nice big nose? Looks like a parrot's beak a bit, doesn't it? And maybe even this strange mouth here. That's gone really weird, hasn't it? And then I'll just put all these lines on my face. Not too many though. And my eyes all wonky there. And it's just a case of drawing what you see in the spoon. Look at that, it's really distorted my eyebrows. And just put in that top lip there. And maybe just my chin around here. And according to that spoon, it looks like I've got bags under my eyes. Look at that. What do you mean I have? Creates a really good effect, doesn't it? And it looks really good if you colour it in. And you get the same effect if you look at all sorts of objects in a spoon. How about the front of your house? Believe it or not, that's actually Square House. Or how about a car? Well, it looks like half a round car, really. Or try doing a member of your family. They always look weird. Try it yourself. Curved spoon drawings. And don't forget, you can check out the website for this and all the other art attacks in the show. And I'll see you next time. Ta-ra!